Balls. Fat. My balls is constantly moving, doing improving. We get back. Oh, my balls are ready to do it. Thinking and growing. Take us to the top. Welcome to my show. Did you know that your mom is a all hail the king of the West! Buttons. How much joy buttons can bring certain people. And it's weird to know that the podcast world, they don't have button people. You know, this is a thing where I think I thought it would be cool for me to be Howard Stern and Fred Norris. I was like, no one's doing both. Did you know people at one point, somebody could have a job just being on the buttons? You're the button guy. It used to be a guy that had horns and like a snare drum and a cymbal. You know what I mean? He'd be like, I don't know. What are you going to do, doctor? The doctor said you going to die. Oh, no. Is that... what was, like whenever I'm just basing this off private parts where I felt like when Stern first started and Fred was just there with horn, like he never said a word.
Yeah.
He just went, like to have a career where, what do you think? And he's like, and they're like, yeah, man, the way he hits the horn. I know people, I heard for years, and I do think it's cool. He can pull things up and press some buttons, and it's very, very funny. But we're talking millions, man. I believe Fred, and like I've met Fred Norris, and I was in awe of him.
Oh my God! Watching him work, because I worked with Fred for around 5 years, and watching him work was jaw dropping. It's incredible the stuff he did, especially before technology made his job easier. When he was doing carts and stuff, I wasn't around in those days, but just pulling like little 8-track looking fucking things, and he was like an octopus.
That's crazy.
And coolest dude ever. I could stop him in the hallway and be like, hey, I've always loved this one sound effect. Like, where'd you pull that from? And he would just be like, sit down and be like, let me tell you a tale. Yeah. And just give me like this huge history behind it.
Well, I feel like somebody who's that good at something is obviously very passionate about their job.
Yeah.
Or I don't even think it's a job. I think it's it's a lifestyle. Fred Norris is a sound making guy. It's what he does. It's what he's very fortunate enough to do until he dies. Because I don't think those guys will ever stop. I mean, you're already at the point where you could die. I mean, I really hope you don't, but you could die. You're old. You're fucking old.
Yeah.
And you're signing $100 million deals.
For sure.
You're going to go until you die. In 3 years from now, it's just be like, nah. And you'd be like, I can no longer. Until those dudes die, they can have a job where it's no sneezing paycheck. It's a fucking, like, they could leave and just be podcasting, and you could be like, you guys didn't do that well. Look at you. You're not top 10. I feel like Howard Stern in podcasting being in the top 20, his sponsorship deals would be fucking crazy. I don't even know how that works, Michael.
I imagine he would do extremely well in podcasting.
Even if we were 19th and he was 20th, what we pulled in a month versus him would be fucking Here's one. This is so not going to happen, but it's just where Tony Hawk lives. So I went down there to meet him to talk about this podcast we're going to do. Also, like, hey man, you're not doing this to like help me, are you? Like, I didn't want to. I don't know how to fucking steer it in any other way. I just said it. He's like, no, dude. Like, and I'm like, good, because I don't. It's not going to work. If you're like, oh fuck yeah, hey Jace. He's like, no, I want to fucking do a show. Like, I'd like to do 2 shows. Like later on, I want to do like I like the whole idea of like a channel. And I'm like, that's weird because this is a channel. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, the podcast guys are like, all the shows you do, we'll keep it on the same channel and they'll all promote each other. I'm like, so it's a good thing. He's like, yes, it's a good thing. That's the cast guy. So when I told Birdman that, and I was like, if you bring in any sponsors before they do, then they're yours. And he's like, oh, cool. That's talking to, Pacifico. And so like he had names where I was like, can the gods please just make one of those? Because he's just on another planet, which just reminds me of all those other people. When, we started podcasting, I talked to On It bumped me up a little bit. They didn't do what you would do if you had a podcast. But I believe that if we got really successful and I was like, hey man, I'm doing 500,000 downloads, they'd be like, oh shit. Accordingly, what we give you? You got a cut on your head?
No.
Yeah, you do.
It's probably itchy, scratchy marks.
Get the fuck it. Oh wait, when you don't wrinkle, yeah, pull your hair back. I don't want to touch your head, dude. Just pull your hair back.
You can touch my head.
Oh shit! It goes all the way from here, dude, all the way up into your. Look at it. Zoom in.
May I ogle you? Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh god damn it! I feel it too.
I love how he denies. No, I'm just scratchy, and I'm like, no, you got yourself.
Oh no, that's itchy, scratchies.
From what? The headphones?
No, just from existing. That's the life of me.
Go, Katie, go. Cody, other way.
Extreme close-up!
Whoa! Stop doing the wrinkle thing. There you go. Now pull your hair back. Show the crowd. Look at that. That's from touching something.
Yeah, I can probably
create a fresh batch.
Yeah.
The new breed.
Nah. No, the other one looks like...
Ooh, you know what? I'm feeling it on my neck a little bit.
I don't know if you're noticing this, Kevin, but a lot of people very excited about your hair and your look. And sure, there's a couple of people out there that'll hate, just like people that'll hate me for talking about bisexual stuff. But most of the people, I think you've come out of quarantine when it happens with a whole different vibe that is... I even thought, as a guy that is critical about what everyone looks like, when we're in the photo together as the Jason Ellis Show, I'm like, man, you got way more confidence, because you know how you always say you can just fucking do anything and it always works out for you. And I'm like, I don't think it always works out for me. I just think if I think it's working out for me, then I can get away with it, because I'm walking around like I fucking. If I got pants on, I'm like, I'm having a weird day. I can't do that. Because I was trying to figure out what is it that makes your new look so much better than your old look, and I feel like it's because it suits you. I feel like those weird pants and the headbands and the like neon fucking pink and blue shit that you got.
Yeah.
It fucking I used to. This is gonna sound like a bitch, but you would usually be, if we all showed up in skateboard world, I'd be like, because they're gonna be like, what's up with your friend? And I'll be like, whatever, dude. Like, fucking radio doesn't, revolve around having the greatest pant get up in the world, so fuck off. But now, if someone was like, what's up with your friend? And you had like the most action Kevin Kraft gear on, I'd be like, yeah, it's vibe, dude. Like, because it's a vibe. So I back it so hard.
I was walking to pick up lunch yesterday, and I had my mask on and shit, and I walked by a parked car on the side of the street, and I caught my reflection, and I sort of, I think with the mask, like if my face is partially covered, I look deranged, and I noticed.
Come on.
I'm not kidding.
Are you saying your eye and brow area is deranged? You're saying your clothing. Oh, sorry.
No. Like if you can't get the full picture.
I do have a bitch ass face.
The facial hair does help covering up some of my more like bitch assness, but just the way my hair was looking, I started catching people passing by me, like giving me a little bit more room on the sidewalk.
Oh, come on. This is ludicrous. You need to get over yourself.
For once, you guys could actually believe me when I say stuff.
Not this time.
Well, I'm not always lying.
Someday that day will come.
Did you have
I believe that is your truth. I'm saying I don't believe that is the truth.
Did you have your loud gear on?
I had
Those weird half-cut pajama
I did have my
things?
ninja pants on.
Right, so you're saying people gave you more room because of your haircut? Which part are you referring to as the bit that people are intimidated by?
So where I live in Studio City, there's a lot of crazies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they think you might be one of them.
I think
that's your guess.
I think I may have blended in that day. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I went on my walk home. Fucking guy looks like he just woke up from spending 40 years in a cave. Walks like he's 5 feet in front of me. Starts whipping his dick out. Wow. And then starts pissing on a palm tree on Ventura Boulevard. Very busy road. Broad daylight, afternoon, just pissing. And then a little girl goes by in a scooter. I'm like, oh my God.
But you got to think, that little girl has really bad parents because she should not be scootering around in that neighborhood. And also, alone, that's insane.
Well, her mom was behind her.
Oh, okay, my bad about that one. But the other one is, if you urinate on a palm tree on that street, you might not have a house. So that guy's probably really hungry and mentally disabled, and he's got a very lonely existence too. So I don't know. It's like he's indecent exposure is totally inappropriate, and when the popo come, then he's going to go in. But I just look at it as
the popo aren't coming.
Right, but that guy, how bad? It can't be good. I don't think even real crazy people that walk around and look like they don't know what's going on in the reality around them are never having fun. Never like, this is a trash can for me. Like, this is the greatest day ever. No one, it's God, come on, man. It's got to be bad.
Yeah. Well, they're people with severe mental problems that need to be in an institution, and there's just that's not a thing anymore.
Yes, which is crazy, Kevin, because we could just get all of them off the street. We could get all the homeless people, and we could feed all the people in the world if we didn't give all the trillionaires all their little extra bonuses and whatnot.
Easily. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Studio City has really taken a nosedive in just like the couple of years I've lived there.
Does that mean it's gone down in price?
Fuck no.
How is that?
Because, again, it's the super wealthy are calling the shots. They're like, well, wait a second. I'm not taking less money. That's not a thing that ever happens.
That's what we got to do.
So there's more and more of those types of people that are like shirtless, dick out, pissing in public, like all over the main streets, like taking dumps. Those people, like on the street, just casually walking, outnumber the people who are just like, I'm going to go walk and get a bite to eat. So it's literally like The Walking Dead. So I get it when I'm walking down the street and someone sees my, hair. I haven't gotten a haircut in a year.
It looks good, dude. It's getting better.
It is getting better.
But I think you can kind of tell that it's unkempt. Like, there's people that...
What do you mean unkempt?
It's a little wild because there's, I guess, fucking split ends and shit.
You don't want it to be... If you had it really neat, you'd be a fucking jobber. If you had it like...
I know.
Super perfect, you'd be nothing wrong with being... effeminate or what? Feminine looking?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's my thing.
From fucking brain. but that's not what you're trying to do. So you wouldn't make it super perfect. I think what you're doing right now is, I feel like long hair should be it vibes itself. I feel like if you had really long hair and you were styling it, that would be stupid. Like letting your long hair become, because you're becoming who you are. That's what that is. It's growing out. It's becoming Kevin. It suits you way more.
I mean, it's for sure a vibe, but
shapes
I think
your face better.
I think this
you look less
like
bold.
The way my the mullet part in the back is a little bit longer than the rest of it, and then it kind of
excellent.
Like,
because that's old school the way it should be.
I get it, but I mean, this is that's a guy who hasn't gotten a haircut in a while. Like.
Man,
it's not like this is
that's when you gotta. We're gonna rectify this. We'll keep working on it. You don't look like that. That people, when they see you, don't look like that guy that's never had a haircut. At this point,
yeah, you're over that hump.
Yeah, you look like
this looks on purpose.
You look like you're making a statement, and it's a fucking sweet one.
I caught my reflection in a car window and was like, "Yikes!" And I don't get that vibe. I don't get that vibe here. Like, we have a monitor right over there. I don't feel like I look like a deranged person on that.
Yeah, but that's
when I'm in the mirror brushing my teeth in the morning.
Dude, sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then I go about the day and then I'll see another thing where I'm like, "Oh, that's not that bad." But I think everybody goes through it, dude. I think everybody catches an angle that they're like, "Oh, so far from fucking attractive. That's insane." And then that's just some people you got bad angles. Everybody does. Bad mirrors, bad lighting, bad days, puffy face, whatever it is. Just gotta, on the scale of what you look like to the rest of the world, you're a handsome man. You're a young, handsome man with a job. You know, on the scale of everything else. I went fucking jet surfing. I went jetboarding with Dingo this weekend. He came over for his birthday. I didn't see him because obviously fucking COVID shit. So he hung out. And when we were down there, on our way down, you know, I'm stressed about a bunch of stuff, dude. And I was talking to, you know, because Ding's my friend, and so I was giving it to him. And then we get the boards down there, whatever, have fun, blah blah blah. When we're bringing them back, I go get the golf cart to put the boards back on. Fucking jet boards with a golf cart, right? And I'm like, man, it's a tough day. I don't know what, something that doesn't care. But the police were on the beach when we got back to the sand, and they were there with this little Mexican lady who had some crazy, I don't know what it was, but like a rash. I don't think it was acne, and her face was swollen, like puffy and super rash with like these pimply things all over her. And she had like a 6-month-old baby, and she was holding the baby in this weird way where it was kind of, she was holding the baby across the back with one hand and her other hand was on the head. So the bottom half was dangling, and it just looked weird. And I'm like, why are the cops talking to her? And I'm like, man, I just see the lady and the police taking her, and then the fire department show up, and she walks by me, and I'm like, fuck, man, like that lady has a baby. I don't think she could have been home. She's not doing well. Whatever, she wasn't doing well. There's nobody there. She had nobody else there, and she had this baby, and they're taking her in to check her vitals. So I think she's like on drugs or. And I'm like, that's a fucking kid in the sun. And to the point where somebody on the beach called the authorities to check on this lady with a baby that was fully alive. It was a baby, real live baby. Saw it. And I thought, her day, you know, what's her afternoon? How's it going to, you know, Martin Luther King Day. Everyone got a day off, and she's off to, I assume, the hospital. And then, like you say, with the people on the streets, how long do they take care of her? Are they going to find the right people? What's going to happen to the baby? Like, all bad, you know, like, such a horrific life. And I don't know why, but it's easier for me to get in people's shoes lately. Like, she walked by, and within 15 seconds, I was like, fuck, that's so bad. And then I look at Dingo, and he's trying to get his wetsuit off, and I'm like, just even if things it empties, it's these little, we're so lucky to be here. All the people that drive their cars around, you know, go in traffic, and people with their little tents on the beach having picnics. Everybody's so fucking lucky. When you look at the news, we're all in hell, but it doesn't. I'm like, some people are in. They really are. It's a crazy world to know that somebody who I don't believe is a murderer or a rapist or anything, you know, like a monster that waits in the bushes to attack. But for some reason, their life is, in my opinion, because I'm so lucky, unfair. I feel so bad for these people that have nothing and no one gives them a chance, and they get in situations that are so sad. You know, like, and she's older. How do you get back from that? You probably don't. So what do? Just mumble around for the rest of your days?
Well, I mean, there's a thing. You know, this hits close to me because I have a cousin who I've mentioned a couple of times. He's a few years younger than me, and we hung out all the time when we were kids, and always played video games together and stuff. And he was going to school to be a video game programmer, and schizophrenia kicked in.
Fuck. What, around 18 or so, right?
Around there, yeah. And he started getting weird. And he's been homeless for a very long time. And his dad is a fucking open heart surgeon. And he's got money. And they've been like, we will pay for an apartment for you just to get you off the street. And he's like, no, I don't want to. Like, everybody in our family has reached out to him multiple times, offered him places, offered him everything. And we still, like, he disappears and he goes from state to state. We don't know where he is, but every now and then he resurfaces and we just get care packages and give them to him. And there's not much you can do. He can't even you can't force somebody like that against, even with schizophrenia, you can't force them against their will into a place.
And that's one of Dr. Drew's causes.
Yes.
Is giving people the ability to force people.
Right.
And because these things go back and forth. The example of children being taken away from abusive parents. What happens with the law there typically is they take somebody's kid away who should have never been taken away. The system fucks up, and there's a huge uproar in all the papers and on TV. People go, we can never, ever let this happen again. So they make it really, really hard to take kids away. And then 8 years later, something horrible happens to a kid because they're left with an abusive parent, and people go, this can never happen again. We need to make it very, very easy to take kids away from their parents. And then we wait for it to flip back the other way.
Yeah. From what I know with those, when kids are taken out of their homes and put in
in foster
care, I'm not saying they all are, but that's like where a lot of the sex trafficking is like, that's where they get them. Because they have, sometimes they get them and they steal them. Sometimes they have deals with that. Yeah.
Jesus.
So there's people that are, especially in third world countries, whenever there's like a earthquake or a war or something like that, they know that guy, that Tim guy that I wanted to
Tim
get
Ballard.
Tim Ballard. The people that sex traffic, they go to the places knowing that there's going to be thousands of kids with no parents to take them. Like, that's when it's go time. Yeah, right.
Tying into a number of these threads, we had our crazy guy taken off the street yesterday.
What crazy guy?
There's a guy who has been living in a van across the street from the complex that I live in, and the first time I discovered him...
You pointed him out to me last week.
That's right. Yeah, Kevin gave me a lift home, and was going to drop me off right next to the guy's van, and I was like, a little further up. I don't need to get right here.
Let's pull in over there.
I was driving home from somewhere with my kid, and we could hear... I initially thought somebody was being wrongly imprisoned, because I could hear somebody yelling and banging, and I thought somebody was trapped against their will in the back of the van. Turns out this guy would just hang out in the back of his van and just throw stuff around and yell. And he was belligerent, and I think he may actually have a speech impediment as well, and I don't think English is his first language. And he's crazy, and he's on meth, so his voice is like insane, and he's like Bruce Springsteen. He can do 5-hour concerts. And so we started calling the cops, and I know I'm not the only person in my neighborhood who was calling the cops. At least I am behind, like, there's some fences and stuff. He was right outside of people's, like, houses. He could have just walked up to their front door or their back window or something, and it took a while. And, it sucks because the kids just want to go out. I mean, they have very few options left to them, even just to go out and play in our driveway. They'd go out there and play, and then all of a sudden you'd see this guy walking past, and it's like, maybe we should go back inside. And I have a ton of sympathy for the guy. I also have sympathy for myself and all the other families in our neighborhood who are dealing with this guy. So I called the police off. And when I took my Christmas tree out, we had set up an appointment for them to come get our tree at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we didn't get to take down Christmas this couple weeks ago, obviously, until the kids went to sleep. So it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm trying to take my tree out front, and he's wandering around in the streets, and my wife is just like, we're going to set an alarm, we're going to get up at 5:30, and I'm like, I'm not fucking getting up at 5:30 in the morning. I can do this. And she didn't want me to do it. She didn't
want you to do what?
She didn't want me to go out front when the guy was out front.
You think he's going to attack you?
Yes.
Fucking
no,
hell,
no, okay,
man.
no.
I ran from a guy last week.
That's what she was concerned about.
I'm just saying,
when a guy's
a guy that you're...
When a guy's
you think
walking
might
around,
attack you if you go out the front of your house.
Yeah. Okay.
I lived with that.
He never actually attacked anybody. Actually, one of my neighbors told me yesterday that he had stolen beer from them.
I know, but you're thinking it could happen. I get that. Like twitchy guys where you're like, I don't know. He doesn't know.
Oh, I ran last week.
Right.
Last week somebody chased you.
Yeah. I was going for a walk.
Sorry, Michael.
No,
your story's juicy, but this is better.
I mean, it was right there on, again, Ventura Boulevard. Very, very busy road in the valley of Studio City. I was like 2 blocks from my apartment, and I'm waiting at a light because I was going to cross the street and drop a bill in the mailbox.
Yeah.
And I just hear like, sir. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? And I turn, and I see this gigantic dude just like power walking at me. And I was like, and I booked it. And he chased me for a little bit, but he gave up quick. But
he was for sure going towards you.
Oh, without a doubt. I was the only person like waiting to cross the street.
And he was saying the word what?
Sir. But he was going, sir. Because his voice was like all raspy from either yelling or drugs or something.
But do you think he was just going to ask you for money or something?
Maybe he needed some Grey Poupon.
The way he was walking.
You don't owe him $1, do you?
No.
How big was he?
Very big. He would have fucked me up, no problem.
Yeah,
it was a split. It was like he was moving so quick, and he got very close to me that I didn't even have time to think. I was just like, fucking run. If you look like a pussy, who cares?
You know, I noticed for the first time, because I don't do a lot of jet boarding, obviously, but when I do, no one's really asked me about anything. And because I did it yesterday with Dingo, I feel like Dingo was my ambassador to normal people asking questions. Like if he's hanging out with Dingo, he's not that bad, because I've never been asked more questions in my life. Dingo and I were a little bit like of this. We're pretty fucking hot shit down at the beach. Everyone's like, whoa, because I caught a couple of waves. Dingo's the worst filmer on the face of the planet. I'm trying to go. We're out there going around. I guess he's got a sore ankle. I didn't say this yet, right, on the air?
No.
Okay, so I don't ask him about it. This is all going to lead to, there's going to be, we're going to give away a wetsuit today on the show. It's got a rip in the back, and Dingo and myself have peed in it. Obviously, I peed in it a long time ago, but Dingo peed in it yesterday in the ocean. He had to tell me that. I did a live show with him, an Awesome World podcast that I got, and he said, you know, when you were looking at me, because I'm burning around, and he's just on his belly out there in the middle of, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, fucking ankle sore from rolling his ankle. And so he goes, you know, when I was out there and you were hanging out, because I sat down next to him, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, I was pissing the whole time. And I'm like, man, that's such a weird.
It's a long piss.
It's just a weird thing to tell me that, you know, like everyone pisses in wetsuits. You're out in the middle of fucking sea. It's no big deal. It's just weird that you were like that one time where I was looking at you, I was pissing. He's such an odd guy. But so we're going to give that wetsuit away because people said they wanted it because he kind of ripped the back of it.
The pissy one.
Yeah, but it's not pissy.
I can poop in it.
You think that'll add to it? I mean, he was out in the sea when he pissed in it, so I'm willing to bet there's not that much trace of Dingo urine in it anymore.
If you take a shit in it right now,
it'll just have a dude shit in it.
Yeah. Believe it or not, that might devalue it.
I know. I'm not saying
I don't want that to be a blow to your ego.
I'm not saying it's because of you. I'm just saying it's because of your shit.
I thought it just might be a fun prize, but
well, we'll have a live Zoom. We'll have a contest, and whoever wins, or if somebody really wants a wetsuit and they surf, that's different. You can have it. But we'll have a game and see if maybe people would be like, hell yeah, Kevin should shit in it. And I'm like, well, okay, fuck. We'll wrap that up and send it out to you. But a lot of people, I said to Dingo, I go, I'm going to ride a couple waves in, and it's big these days. And it's weird, even in little parts, every now and then a set can come in. And on a jet board, I'm still pretty new. I'm definitely new to surfing. But if a big one comes, jet boards can't deal with that kind of shit. So I go to Ding like, yeah, film me catching a wave. And he's like, all right, go. And we're out past the waves. And I go, wait, you're going to film me on your stomach? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you want to ride the wave? He's like, nah. Because he originally, I said, you ride a wave in, then I'll ride one. He's like, I don't want to ride a wave in. I'll cruise in, take it easy. And I'm like, fair enough. Well, I'll ride one. You film me. And he goes, okay, go. And I'm like, you got to go to shore and then film me on the wave. He's like, right, gotcha. So then he takes off, and I'm burning around out the back, watching him slowly go to the beach. And then he finally goes to the beach, drags the board up. So I find a wave. I get in front of it, and it starts to break, so I pull up in front of it, and I'm riding the wave. And I look up to see if Dingo's filming me. And he's walking down, and I can see him looking around to see where I am. And I'm like, fucking hell. And then I look at the video, and he filmed it. I posted it in my story. I don't know if it's still on there.
Did he do a good job?
No, it's fucking terrible.
No.
But for some crazy reason, he just so happened to get me on the wave.
Oh, that's you, huh?
Yeah. But just to know that I was like, we're both pro snowboarder, pro skateboarder. If you tell me to film you,
Yes.
you're gonna get a sweet video of you fucking surfing that way.
I would assume.
Yeah, and just to know, I did. I was like, I'll do another one, and then he didn't get that one either. But people keep asking, what is that? It's weird because it's pretty. I don't know. It's a jetboard, and then they go, cool. How fast does it go? Like 35 miles an hour? No way. How much does it cost? It's like 10 grand or something. Yeah, figures. I'm like, yeah, figures. But everybody has to say that, and it's usually in that order. It's just crazy to know the mind of your average human. What is that? And then how fast and how much it costs.
I had that same conversation with somebody the first time I saw one at a beach a few months ago on Manhattan Beach.
You asked them that?
I didn't really care. The guy that I was with is a Kiwi. He was like, legend, excellent.
Yeah,
we have to go talk to him about it. Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Let's go.
That was not.
My son even does.
Not that bad.
Legend.
Yeah, no, he's a ledge. It reminds me, this drug dealer guy.
Awesome.
Dude, this drug dealer guy I used to buy weed off fucking came to the airport to see me off in Australia a long time ago. And he totally talked like that. And my dad was there. And he goes, g'day, Mr. Ellis. Like, I'm fucking so-and-so. And he's like, I just wanted to tell you, I don't know if you know this or not, but your son, he's a fucking legend. And I remember just going, like, don't talk, don't say, my dad's like, yeah, is he? And looked at me like, nice choice of friends, Jay. Like, I could tell that I was not getting a pat on the back for being a fucking legend. I was getting, you need to go back to America and do more on your skateboard and drop these fucking assholes, because I always had a sweet crew.
Yeah, they throw that word around willy-nilly. I've heard this guy call
everyone's a fucking legend.
I've heard this guy call people a legend because they brought him an iced tea.
Yeah. Oh, you're a ledge for bringing him a beer, for sure, yeah. No, that's thanks to some people.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have itchy scratchies?
No, I fucking spilled.
Oh, I saw the photo.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you burnt yourself that bad?
Isn't that nuts?
Does that fucking hurt?
No. What?
Really?
No.
It fucking looks like it
Doesn't
did.
it? It looks like it's really painful.
It looks like it fucking killed.
It looks like
second-degree burns, I reckon.
That looks like Gorbachev's bird mark on his head.
Yeah. Here, Katie doesn't need to run. Hold on. Here, I got
it. Oh, we're getting another extreme.
Whoa! What? Wrong camera.
Oh no, it's good.
Oh, it is?
People can see it, right? Yeah, you got the idea. It is Gorbachev-y. Yeah, it was stupid. We were making eggplant parmesan, and we forgot to make
Who knew that was a dangerous meal?
We forgot to make the sauce, so my wife threw it on, and I forget that her mom is a restaurateur. She was raised in a kitchen in a restaurant, so she put it on, like, all the way high. And I thought she was just warming up the sauce, so I just absentmindedly, because I didn't want it to burn on the bottom, sauce will do that, it's kind of thick, I just picked it up and gave it a little toss. I didn't stir it with a spoon, I just shook the whole pot, and some of it went airborne.
Turned up.
And that's what happened. I iced it at the time, and then I moved on with my life. I swear to God, it looks so much worse now than it did at the time. I forgot.
It might be because of Permanente.
You think?
No, I'm just fucking.
Is it getting smaller?
Maybe. I don't know. I forgot it was there. And
super birthmarky, right?
Very birthmarky.
There was, at the time, there was no way I was thinking.
You Google that?
I was going to, no. Everybody on my Instagram told me home remedies to put on it. I haven't done anything. I haven't done a goddamn thing. I can't even tell.
You're going to die yet?
Maybe. I stopped looking. I can't tell who was joking about the nonsense they told me to do and who was being serious. I literally forgot it happened until like 2 days later. I was like, wow, look at that. And that's when I took the photo. The only way, and also, you know how I really found out about it? Is it started pussing. And like two times, like one time.
What?
Yeah, like 2 times, right around there, there were some like pustules. It got kind of raised.
Oh, wait. Do you mean like, was it real white or was it a little bit clear?
It was clear.
Yeah, okay. That's, those are blisters from it.
Yeah. It was blistering. And like one time, I guess my hand or something touched it. And then like a second later, I was like, why is my goddamn hand wet?
Popped.
Yeah. And I didn't even put it together. And then it happened again. And I'm like, okay, let me see. It seems like 2 times I've touched my arm and 2 times my hand has been wet. And that's when I saw that this stuff was going on. This is actually the worst stage because it's getting a tiny bit itchy.
Yeah.
but it's not itchy enough that it's like a constant thing in my mind. So it just gets itchy enough that I give it a little scratch, and then I move the skin that wants to fall off. Like that just sort of moves around.
It's not that bad. Now you survived. You just put some fucking Neosporin or whatever. It's not that bad.
No,
I told you my dad when he did the heat thing on the heat gun on his arm. I saw it. It went whoop up, like big bubbles popped. What?
Oh.
While he was doing it, yeah, he cooked himself.
Oh.
I know, and he got an infection from it, but that was way burnt.
Yeah, that sounded like he was courting that a little bit more aggressively than I was.
That was the craziest thing I ever, for that age, because when you're younger, you just don't know what crazy is. You just think it's normal. And I'd met several people. I was in late 20s, maybe 30, and somebody that melted their arm like that, I would consider a fucking lunatic.
That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah. I don't know I would like to talk to my therapist about that one, like what that did to me psychologically. Because I remember not being a fan of that. I remember thinking, that's too much, and then I'm like, you've got, Lee's here. Stevie's here, and you're doing that? That's not appropriate stuff to show your kids. I don't know if I'm just seem like way.
No, I tend to agree.
Way too far.
I tend to
agree.
agree.
Do you think that is a sauce stain?
No.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
No,
it's just a burn. Because I don't know what ranking you get, but I reckon you could get maybe it's just first degree.
It's weird that it didn't hurt.
That's not
and
bad,
it's
dude.
weird.
It hurt
that
at the time. At the time, I iced it while we were having dinner.
Okay.
That it was painful then.
Okay.
But like,
but I moved on pretty instantly, and I wasn't drinking or anything.
I've never seen just like discoloration like that on burns.
Yeah.
We could Google it.
Yeah.
Burns.
Now
what
I'm reading.
burns look like.
I'm reading the comments, and a couple people are telling me if I want it to go away, I should have already been taking steps. It just doesn't. I don't know. I'm busy.
What do you mean want it to go away? It's gonna go away,
right?
Dude.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I figured.
Neosporin, how it makes it go away faster than it does if you don't put it on there.
Yeah.
Great, but it's still gonna go away. You're fucking alive.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's what human bodies do. They shred.
Yeah. No, I was genuinely shocked when I looked down and saw how bad it was.
I saw that and I was like, man, you had a bad evening because that looked like one that would sting for a bit. Yeah.
No, I don't know how
I hate those where they just linger.
Yeah.
Can't get the burn feeling to go away.
Yeah.
Which might be happening for the promotion of this show and the podcast. I feel like this could be, I think, a good idea. We don't really advertise the Patreon that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, a lot of people are like, man, excited to catch you guys again. And I can tell they don't know that we have a Patreon, that we can do live ones that you can call in. This is more like the Jason Ellis Show than the Jason Ellis Show podcast because of that thing. I mean, I guess we could do it on that as well. I just realized. Play a game, have people come on Zoom.
Yeah.
And do that.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, I forgot what I was saying.
Talking about jumping through fire?
Yeah, so I really hope I don't get burnt. But I've been thinking about how to go through it, what to go through it on skateboard, and how much harder it would be because you'd have to get wood for a run-up. You'd have to build like a run-up, and that just seems like a hassle. And then someone brought it to me, why don't you just ride a dirt bike through it? Like you like dirt bikes. And I'm like, oh yeah, that does make more sense. And then I thought, I don't have a dirt bike. And then we're going to Vegas. So can you rent a dirt bike? And
you do have a golf cart.
I don't have a trailer to bring it. Does that count?
I don't know.
What has the, because I remember you saying you coordinated with like a stunt team.
Yeah.
What have they suggested?
I have not. This is my weekend by myself thinking about how I called TJ Lavin and he went out to his backyard and FaceTimed me and showed me he's got a big roll in and a 25-foot jump to dirt. And I'm like, 25 foot on a fucking BMX, like, you could get wrecked, and it's through a wall of fire, so that means blind, until you're on the other side. I don't know about you guys, but I rode a dirt bike through a brick wall. It's just smart to blink right when on impact. I disagree with just like keeping your eyes wide open for that, just in case something went through. Like I just go ugh for a second.
Yeah, it's sort of human nature to flinch when you're going through fire.
Yeah, so when you're in the air and you've got to spot the landing, but before you spot the landing, you go. It makes it way harder because if you in that little second are off, you can't get it back.
Yep.
And it's not really that sanctioned, and it's one shot. So I thought you've got to make it, or not. You know, I'm willing to take a tumble as long as it's a great video and a great photo. But I thought when I do it, when I make it, I should put it in the podcast to promote it.
I think so. Yeah.
Right. So then we would do the show and we would talk about what I did on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then the video would go in that show.
Yes, I think so.
And that should help us on YouTube and
for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe even the cast people could make it its own post outside of the podcast too, and just have that in the new YouTube channel feed.
I feel like we almost have enough content when they can start doing what you just said, like putting little snippets of stuff everywhere. Because they have to keep it on that one channel too, just so people know. Why don't you put it all on the same thing? They said that the channel grows way faster algorithm-wise if it stays just that format. If you put all your old stuff in there, apparently it slows it down.
I get that.
Yeah, and your personal YouTube page got pretty popular over the years.
Did it?
This one's, I think you got like 43,000 subscribers on there, and that's a hefty number. Yeah. So like once
supposed to be adding a bunch of Ellis Mania footage. I found that's never been up. A couple of Ellis Manias that we never had found on a disc, and I got some people that are putting it up on there, so that'll be good. I
mean, once the Jason Ellis Show YouTube page catches up to that, that'll be massive. Yeah.
So I was I am a skateboarder, but it's a hassle. So a bike, it's way easier. It's just how do you get a bike? Or I could dress like Bruce Lee and karate kick through it.
Do like a Liu Kang flying.
I told Katie if someone had a car and you just fucking sped up towards it and then hit the brake right before it and I jumped off it through the wall, so then I'd be going fast enough.
Have you ever done that before?
No.
Not going through like a flaming wall, but sit on a car and then just get launched by it hitting the brakes?
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was then, but now it's definitely going to hurt. I mean, knee brace though, I'll be all right, I reckon. But I don't think it's a good idea to do that in a Speedo.
Yeah, you might chop your penis off.
Well, I feel like what are the odds of me flying through the wall, landing on the ground on a particular piece of burnt wood?
Fairly high.
Right?
Right. You probably want like a fireproof gi.
Oh, a gi. That reminds me. I don't know if you saw in the garage the amount of MMA mats that I have.
I noticed those.
Yeah, shout out to Zebra Mats. But those are the Lake Havasu mats. We don't really have a thing to flex on putting storage of fucking mats anywhere, so we're keeping them here. So I put Katie and I put a bunch of them in that living room. You guys could have a grappling tournament right now, and I thought I got to get you two guys a gi because you two in a grappling tournament is fucking hilarious. Like, who do you think would win? I don't know.
No idea.
In my MMA opinion, I have no. If you were like, oh, dude, trust me, Kevin's gonna win because this, Michael would win. I don't know. No, they don't know. You don't know any jiu-jitsu, correct?
I
Except for
know
like TV shit.
I know so little about it that when I've watched my son in 7-year-old competitions, I can't figure out who's winning and losing.
Still,
I don't know.
I mean, little guys that are white belts are kind of not doing that much actual jiu-jitsu either, though.
The only thing that I understand...
You don't watch the other people around?
Not a whole lot. It's fucking hectic, and I'm chasing a 1-year-old around at the same time.
Do you know what a guillotine is?
It's a choke.
Yep. But you don't know what it is, though? Which one?
No. I know that there's this one kid that I don't really care for, and his mom, who I really don't care for, that just chokes out my kid's entire division every single time with his mom bloodthirstily screaming on that he should choke them harder.
Oh, my God.
Well, don't worry, Michael. He'll meet a kid that'll choke him.
Yeah.
Everybody has his day.
I wish they would bump him, give him a new belt or something so he could try to choke some other kids and not just my kid and his friends every week.
But I do think, cool. getting back to this tournament, I do think that it could be a video that might be worth filming and editing and putting in this show.
Yep.
And then doing a promo of you guys dressed up saying, sign up for Patreon.
Yep.
To see our live Patreon show where we reveal this new tournament video.
A grudge match, hours in the making.
Right. So.
And I don't fight clean.
I don't know how I fight, so this will be interesting.
I'll pop
That's
a boner
the best
to make
fighter.
it weird.
The best fighter out there is the fighter that doesn't know how they fight.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just as surprised, including him. Yeah, no, it's a great grappling match.
I tickle fight.
I would recommend you stretch.
I tickle fight my son. I'm doing yoga. I went to my second class yesterday. That was a great time. The instructor constantly called attention to me by name and how I wasn't doing things correctly, and then had the entire class clap one time when I finally did something right.
That must have felt good.
That's the kind of encouragement I really respond to.
Second time now, right? Is that the same person's 2 times?
No, the first class was too easy, and this one was too hard. I'm just going to the 8:30 classes that this place offers. It doesn't really matter what the level is. I'll just sit in the back next time.
I'm not really that much of a fan of doing it lately. Like hurts. I guess I gotta know when to not. Like if I've got something that's really sore on me, I just gotta say no because it's not.
I tried.
Last time I went, I was not happy about it. It fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm like, there's a certain amount of. I'm not
What part
paying.
hurt?
My wrist. There's something wrong with it, and it hurts, and it doesn't go back very far. But even that, when I would show people, that would hurt. Now it's not that bad, so I can still do like. I can't.
You don't do the fist?
I do now, but like it's not as good a balance. But usually I have more balance if I do this thing where I'm on this weird knuckle thing.
Yeah.
For me to do that, it doesn't work anymore. I can't do it. And she made me do the one where you just stand on one palm and stretch out. And I'm like, you can't. Knuckling that is like fucking. I'm 220, dude. I'm fucking boring my knuckles through the mat into the, like it's starting to hurt. And I'm thinking. I'm doing this to be more flexible, calm down, relax. Not, I'm all, and I'm like, man.
I just skipped that part.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Because I like,
I'd rather do a more relaxing one with a more friendlier yoga instructor.
I got surgery on my wrist before I moved to California. And it was because there was a cyst in there.
Oh.
Right on the joint.
Naturally.
So like anytime like
very cysty guy.
It was the same thing as that. Like putting my arm or my palm flat would hurt. Even just pushing a door open.
Maybe I have a cyst in there, you think?
You could. Or it's just scar tissue. Who knows? But like that was bothering me a while. And I got the surgery done in New York before I moved out here. And I had to do fucking exercises and stuff to like, because they're like, if this heals,
rehab.
If it heals the wrong way without you doing all these different exercises and stretches every day, it'll get stuck like that.
Yes. Rehabilitation. Do you know Tom Segura's rehabilitation? His rehabilitation doctor was my one for my knee.
No kidding.
Yeah. Nice.
Dr.
Small
Karen.
town.
Yeah.
When they sealed me up after the surgery, they stitched it, but they put a cotton ball and stitched that into my skin. It was so fucking weird. So I kept it like wrapped all the time.
How do you get that out?
When they removed the stitches, it just was gone. But one of my last nights on the East Coast, I had a party with my North Jersey homies. We were partying and playing beer pong and got sloppy and we're throwing arms around each other.
Let's get some hoogies.
And my buddy, like, I think we just took a picture or something, and when he took his arm off from around me, his hand just grazed down the length of my arm, and he karate chopped the cotton ball.
Oh, man.
And it didn't rip it off, but it was bleeding like a motherfucker.
Are you okay?
Yeah. It sucked.
Close goal, though.
And I think that might be why this scar is a little more noticeable than they would have liked it to be.
Do you mind scars?
Nah.
How are you with scars?
Nah, they don't bother me.
Right. What about if you had a scar on your face?
That would bother me.
It would?
Yeah. I don't think I'm a scar face kind of guy.
Well, you got such a bitch-ass face that if you had a scar on it, it would make you manly. I don't really think you have a bitch-ass face. I'm just trying to be funny.
Make you look like more of a haunted dummy. I got a little scar on the bridge of my nose, which I can notice when I look in the mirror, and that's kind of odd to get to a certain point in life and then all of a sudden be looking at a scar on your face.
Do you mind?
No.
I noticed
mine between my eyebrows.
Do it again. I mean, it looks like a wrinkle, but maybe you have a scar.
There should be a diagonal one.
Well, get your hand out of the way.
It was it's a bing bong school injury.
Yeah, I don't see it. So that means it's a pretty good scar.
I haven't thought about it in a minute.
Yeah. This was a guy who was playing basketball at LA Fitness, and he bit my head.
Oh.
What do you mean bit your head?
We were both going up for a rebound, and his tooth went in my face.
Yeah.
I don't know who rebounds with their mouth wide open like that. I don't know if he thought he was Michael Jordan or something.
A lot of people think they're Michael Jordan when they play basketball.
This guy looks like a fucking dentist, and I think he might be.
I got mine sitting, it was like a couple days before graduating, and I was sitting on the pool table at like the rec room at Bing Bong School, and the racking triangle was on the ground, and it was like on its side, so it was pointed up, and I put my foot into it and kicked it up to try and catch it, and I did it with too much force and just went whoosh, and nailed me between the eyes.
Man.
And like in my graduation pictures, I have like this red scab.
Oh, like just a red scab? Like not a very cool part of the injury period?
It was a full-blown scab, but it was irritated and red around it, so it looked gross.
Yeah,
there's a year's worth of Easter photos in my family where my sister and I are all dressed up in our Easter finest, and I have gauze wrapped around my head because I had ran headfirst into a brick wall and got like 10 stitches.
You look so much cooler than everybody else when you're that guy or girl at the thing.
I had a crew cut, so I just had no hair and just fucking massive head wound.
I had my mom. I married my. I didn't marry. I helped marry my mom or whatever. I gave her away or some shit like to this dude. So I was in. I broke my wrist real bad, and I wanted to go in the pool. So I duct taped my cast, and then I thought it would blend in better with my attire. So I had like a duct tape hand for the wedding, all the wedding photos. But I always thought it was cool. It's like, what's that? Well, that's my job, you know? Because that was right when it was fresh too. That was, I just got back from America, and I thought it was pretty fancy.
Yep, it's a badge.
But I don't remember having a good face one for like I had to do a thing and had my face look bad. I'm trying to think if I've ever, because I've had some sweet black eyes and broken noses and stuff, but I've never had to. Trying to think what I've had to do to show up in front of people. You never do, you know.
Well, I think
it's a shame. It's a good look.
Yeah. The face and the head would seem to be the last thing that you would get to, last in the pecking order of things you might injure skateboarding.
Right. Wedding on crutches, I've done that.
Nice.
That's lame. Because usually everyone gets drunk afterwards and they don't care that you're on crutches.
I had, you know how I have death metal tattooed across my toes?
You love it.
So, like, I think a week or two
it's the button
before.
Right there. So you guys know I get death metal tattooed on my toes.
I had a party at my place. I got wasted. My buddy had just bought a tattoo gun and was looking for people to practice on.
Man.
And he's like, come on, man, let me tattoo your toes. Let me tattoo your toes. And I was like, doing the math. DEATH. It works. 10 letters.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's fucking do it. So everybody's at the parties like, whoa, look at this idiot, and cheering and laughing. And I'm like, this is sweet. Yeah. And I'm like, might not have been the best idea. But it turns out that was a couple of weeks before my college roommate's wedding. And I'm very close with them. I was the best man. And the bride, we're very good friends, but she was always like, man, your fucking shenanigans piss me off. And when she heard that I had gotten death metal tattooed on my toes, she was pissed because it was a beach wedding, and she wanted everybody in the bridal party, the groomsmen, everybody to be in flip-flops for the picture. And she was like, Kevin fucking ruined it. He fucking ruined it. No flip-flops. Everybody's wearing shoes now.
Nobody would be able to see that.
Well, the wedding photographer heard about it and was like, that's really funny. we should do a picture where everybody in the bridal party or whatever stands in a circle on the beach and is barefoot, and we just make a circle of feet. And I don't know why, but I hadn't trimmed my toenails in a while.
Oh my God, dude. So, who are you?
I have like these.
You had everything going for you in this one, and you blew it.
So in the wedding album is everybody in their feet in a circle, and my death metal toes with fucking crackhead nails.
I don't know, man. You know, I just changed my mind. Death metal on your toes and like cretinous toenails. That is metal, right? Like, and that it's like, wow, you had a real metal fucking dude at your wedding.
Yeah.
That's cool, dude.
But she's not that type
That's
of person.
not the way that she's going to look at it.
No.
Look, there's a part of, and I see it now with my little kids. You know how, Kevin has his whole, I think I could be Jason Bourne thing? Every guy kind of weirdly harbors that, and they don't think it through too hard, because if they did, they would know that it's completely ridiculous. But at some point, I've come to think of people as tree trunks, and you just get a new ring every year. And so it's like, you're not the person that you were when you were 3, but that person is still at the core of you. And that's why if you have issues, therapy takes a really long time to work. You got to get all the way down there. There's just a point in time where the vast majority of little boys think that they're fucking He-Man. And it never goes away, and they would love to have some opportunity at some point to flex their He-Man muscles. That opportunity never comes. Most, not all, most girls are where my daughter is right now, where she fucking refers to herself as a gorgeous princess. She thinks she's a princess. She doesn't even know what it means, but she's into that. And girls have this one opportunity, one day out of their life, to indulge this bizarre fantasy that they've been harboring since they were 3 years old, that they are the fucking princess. And their princess fantasy didn't involve you with fucking gnarly unkept toes and death metal tattoos on each of your toes.
But the streets, that's how they are. Could be worse. Yeah. Your wedding wasn't ruined by your toes. That's impossible.
It wasn't. And I gave a good speech.
Yeah, but everything was supposed to be perfect.
I know. And I fucked up, and the wedding photographer thought it was funny. And that lives on.
That person fucked up too.
Yeah.
That person's got to know what the fucking bride finds funny.
And I think she did initially, she had to have signed off on it because it happened. So, she probably did it under protest, just like, oh, fine, take that fucking picture.
Gotta let your husband have some fun, too.
You do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's He-Man's Day, too.
Fucking thirsty. You got a phone, Katie?
I got a big gang of seltzer. Are you going to call somebody for a drink?
Yeah.
I see. So, did you consider a game that you wanted to play to let somebody win a wetsuit with Kevin's poop in it?
Man, I don't know if I could be a part of that part, but
I got a round in the chamber.
Yeah, I felt like I gave Katie some questions and some answers, and then she just says them and people guess the answers.
Yeah.
And they were, I think almost all of them were answers that I knew, except for the last one, which was what was it, Katie?
Montana.
Yeah, where's Montana? Because I still don't know where that is.
Does anybody really know?
What?
America.
Oh, fuck. I didn't say that. So, yeah, if you guys want to write down some questions and give them to Katie, and then she can just say them to the contestants, and whoever answers them will just tally them up, and the winner is the winner. So if anybody wants to zoom in...
Well, do you want to do that, or I have a number of news?
I'm just giving them time. We'll do news, but I just want to give them time.
But I have a number of news stories we could discuss, but I could also take out the one critical word to the story and see if the Zoom person can fill in the blank. And I would say...
You think that would work?
I would say if anybody manages to get 2 of these, they would definitely be the winner. And if more than one person gets 1, we could just have them settle it with a death match.
How many people do you want to play at the same time?
You can do 1 at a time and see if anybody can get up to 2 correct answers.
Okay. Because we had 4 people on the other day.
You can also get 4 people on and see it. Well, we can do it the same way.
It was pretty funny.
We can let them all guess and see if any of them get it correctly. We could do 4 at the same time.
Because then it's faster too.
Yeah. Yep. In the meantime, while we wait for people to Zoom us, and
how do you do it, Katie? Real quick for people that are listening.
How do you do what? Get on the Zoom? I'm going to post the Zoom link in the YouTube live chat, which you can access through Patreon. Just follow the link over to YouTube, and then you can click pop out the chat.
Thank you.
Cool. In the meantime, who would have thought that... Oh, no, wait. I was going to say, who would have thought that Roy would have outlived Siegfried, but he didn't. Siegfried died. Roy died a couple of years ago.
Yeah, because when I saw... So, Siegfried is the last one to die?
Yeah, Siegfried...
And Siegfried is the one that didn't get eaten by the cat.
Indeed. It turns out not getting eaten by a cat significantly improves your life expectancy.
Isn't that crazy? You're like, I won, but... The cat also, was it Calamonte, Del Monte?
Montecore?
Monte Carlo? Montecore?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's how it's spelled. Is
Montecore. Oh no, Montecore ate my face.
Siegfried Fischbacher.
Man.
Fishfucker?
Fischbacher.
Yep. Fishfucker. That's what you heard.
And Roy Horn.
Yeah, that's a bit average.
So Roy only died in May from complications caused by coronavirus. And then Siegfried has now passed less than a year later, about a half year later, from pancreatic cancer.
And heartache.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Cash's wife.
You know,
it's... Johnny Cash's wife died, and then Johnny Cash died?
That's right. But first
how
he recorded...
much later?
Yeah.
Was it a long time?
I don't know.
Not long, right?
Well, he recorded like 35 albums before she died.
Fuck
and
off.
he loved every single one of those 90s songs. Nobody loved a good filter song like Johnny Cash.
Wait, do you think Johnny Cash didn't like any of those songs?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they did like 60 or 80 songs with him. At a certain point, it had to be, Johnny, here's the song, here's the lyrics, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
It had to be.
Yeah.
I've always found it very remarkable that, you know, Las Vegas, you wouldn't necessarily be aware of Siegfried and Roy as more than maybe a name if you'd never been to Las Vegas, but obviously lots and lots and lots of people do go to Las Vegas sooner or later. Yeah. And if and when you went there, they were, I don't know if
Did you go?
I started going to Las Vegas when I was 20. I spent a summer in Santa Barbara.
Did you see Siegfried and Roy?
Oh, have I ever been to their show?
Yeah.
The only show I've ever been to was, I've been to 2 Cirque du Soleil shows. No, they're so expensive.
Did you ever see the great Siegfried and Roy?
I didn't know.
Did you?
No.
Anytime I ever think about going to get tickets to one of those things as like a lark, I look it up and it's like $350 for a ticket. I've never had that kind of money to throw around when I'm there. I think most of the people who actually go to those shows are just people getting comped by the casinos.
Oh, really?
Like high rollers and stuff, yeah.
I thought everybody, at one point when Siegfried and Roy's were around, I thought all tourists, when they came to Vegas, saw Siegfried and Roy, did the strip thing.
Yeah, the Mirage they were at, right?
Was it? Yeah, so. Sure. I thought it was like the Blue Men, but better. If I was going to go, if they were alive, that's where I would rather go than all the other shows. Because I saw one, who's the magician guy?
Copperfield.
That fucking sucked a fucking truck of dicks.
Yeah.
That was insane.
I walked out of the...
Holy phone it in.
Yeah, I walked out of the Beatles Cirque du Soleil thing. Everybody...
Beatles Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
That's your fault.
Okay, so...
That sounds so bad.
I wasn't going to go. We were out there. I think it was an Ellis Mania weekend. Unfortunately, Brian Cullen was there, so it was also the weekend of that shooting at that music festival. That's why we were all there at the same time. And right. And so Brian, being the model employee and go-getter for Sirius, goes, well, I'm in town. I'm going to go outside of the Beatles show, and I'm going to talk to a bunch of Beatles fans about why they love the Beatles, so we have audio for the Beatles channel, which was launching on Sirius. Brian took it upon himself to do that, but because of the SiriusXM Beatles connection, we were on the list to go to the Beatles Cirque du Soleil show, and I'm there. So great, let's go inside. And the weird thing is, the comedian Craig Gass?
Yep.
From Howard Stern show, a brilliant impressionist. He walks up randomly. He knows me a little bit. He totally knows Brian, and he's like, oh, you guys are going to the show? This is my 40th time. It's going to fucking blow your mind. I mean, it was like his 6th time or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you sure, Craig Gass? Because I'm honestly not really looking forward to it. I'm kind of just here.
Is it just like 3 hours of Paul pushing Ringo on a swing? Oh, this is fun.
No, it's 4 fucking hours of a bunch of French acrobats. I didn't like French acrobats.
Where's the Beatles?
It's all the music is mixed into it. And there's always this bit where they go, oh, actually, we found a little bit of audio of fucking Ringo burping from an outtake of Help. Never before heard Beatles footage that's mixed into it.
Playing it all day.
Yeah, and I was just there for like an hour, and we're like, okay, are we good here? Have we both gotten the idea of this? So with all due respect to your taste in musical theater, Craig Gass, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So Penn and Teller was always the one. If you gave me free tickets,
well, those
to
guys
somebody,
are pretty witty, right? They actually had some humor.
That would have been the
some
one
tricks.
I'd pick. Yeah.
Okay, good point.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not hating on all of them. I just felt like I never liked David Copperfield. I always thought it was weird that a supermodel boned him and shit.
Yeah, a real hot one.
Yeah, so maybe I was coming in on a bit of a hater angle,
Yeah.
but I just think it's also maybe there was a time where that show was different, but what I saw was I feel like you signed a deal and you're doing it.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think he knew that he was even there.
I've always thought magic was cool. I think
Man,
the
he doesn't
only
really do that much
exposure.
magic. It's cool. It's like it's blatant tricks. I mean, at one point, a goddamn fucking spaceship comes down, and it's obviously on a it's like in the studio. Copperfield. I'm like, oh my god, dude, you've got Star Wars shit going on in here. That's cool.
I'm gonna make this quarter disappear.
Yeah.
Everybody, close your eyes.
Well, that's how he made the Statue of Liberty disappear.
That's what I was gonna say.
You
I
forget
think
he was a really big deal when I was a kid. He had primetime TV specials all the time.
So that means those shows, when you went to them back then in Vegas, must have been
a
spectacular.
hot ticket, yeah.
something had to get
But
him
I'm
there,
saying
of course,
when you went in
but-
there and you saw it, you went out going, "You guys have got to see David Copperfield's show." It would not have been a letdown. Otherwise, news would have been out.
Yeah, probably. See, I was really let down, though. I can't remember his other major stunts, but when he made the Statue of Liberty disappear, he pulled a gigantic Statue of Liberty-sized shower curtain around the Statue of Liberty, and then he used radar. And they go, look, it disappeared from the radar screen. It's gone. Yeah. And then he goes, abracadabra. And they go, and now it's back. And then they lowered the shower curtain. And everybody talks about Geraldo Rivera and Al Capone's vault. To me, the Copperfield making the Statue of Liberty thing was a way bigger fail, but people went along with it.
Yeah, that's crazy because I never watched it.
It's ridiculous.
Until you're saying because I never watched it. I just saw he's going to say it, make it disappear. And I'm like, yeah, great. That's I never watched it to know that if you did, that's what in the end happened. What a fucking baloney.
We all watched it.
I think I was at the perfect age around that time where like I hadn't been burned by enough similar instances. So I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He's making the Statue of Liberty disappear.
Were you let down?
I got it. Yeah. Okay. I remember watching it like it was a whole family ordeal. Because like I grew up in a house still living with like my mom, my grandparents, my aunts, and my uncle. So like the whole family gathered around for this. And I remember watching it and being like, the fuck? All right, I'm going to play Nintendo downstairs.
Just like that. But you didn't care. It seems like the rest of America didn't really care about the actual stunt, but it still made David Blaine's name not David Blaine, fucking Copperfield, this giant thing. Like even me, it still counted as, who? What'd he do? Fucking I don't give a shit. I know who David Copperfield is. I knew who David Copperfield was. Did you know that he got rid of the... Yes, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But it got out, and I knew it, and if you talked about it, I had an opinion, which brought him his stock up.
Right. But I just always thought with Siegfried and Roy, since many, many millions of Americans eventually did get to Las Vegas, that it was very striking to me that in an era where there were very few performers who were out of the closet, I can't remember if Siegfried and Roy were like on stage going like, by the way, we're like totally married and boning each other, right? But
no way.
In between tricks, they just lean in. They're like,
as gay as George Michael was, as gay as anybody was, they were the gayest
Did they
performers.
make a statement ever?
I forget. I just thought that they were remarkable at the time for being there was no adult that went to that show that didn't realize that they were gay.
Like, but didn't people go see Liberace and be like, oh, bravo, you straight macho man?
His fan base was old ladies. So, yes. But even that, you're talking about a guy who was big in the 60s with women who were 70. I don't know that too many people who were young didn't kind of piece it together about him. I just don't think that Siegfried and Roy it's acknowledged that when you talk about out performers in the public eye, they have a pretty big place in that story. Because maybe they weren't. I'll look it up. But like when two fucking guys are like sucking their cheeks in with fucking tigers everywhere and they got makeup on, it's like, this is a gay couple. There's no way around. This is obviously a gay couple.
It's kind of like the Boy George effect. I didn't think he was gay.
Really?
I didn't know. George Michael, I didn't know.
My thing was always, because I think my first exposure to just like, this is a gay character, this is a flamboyant gay man, was that movie Mannequin. I don't know if you remember that one, but there was this guy.
Meshack Taylor? Yeah.
Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Hollywood. And I love that guy. I thought he was fucking hysterical. And my whole thing was, oh, this guy, he just acts like my Nana. I thought there was just like, oh, there are some dudes that just act like my Nana.
That's what I thought. I didn't know that, I did not know you would be gay.
Yeah.
Do we have callers?
We have 3.
We need one more.
3 people. Right, we need one more, Katie? Or just 3?
We could do 3.
Let's do it.
3 might be
There
easier.
was 4, but the 4th one dipped out.
All right, I won't poop in the suit, guys.
Well, ask them first. Where are they?
We're getting them all in.
Yeah.
And Kevin, if any of these, I don't know if we can put pictures up at the same time that we're zooming with people. That might be.
Oh.
I'm hearing something.
I see a room with lots
I've arrived.
of
I'm technologically illiterate sometimes.
All
Is that
right.
David Arquette?
I know, right? Sound exactly like him. Here
Oh,
they
look
are.
at that, humans.
This guy loves Monster Energy. Who's that?
I actually saved up the stupid caps for this thing. Tell Dingo I sent them in.
Oh, you bought that with bottle caps.
Bottle caps, man.
Fuck yeah.
Wow, this generation's Marlboro, Miles.
Yeah.
Monster hoodie.
Well, it looks great.
Boys, how is the boys doing?
Much better now that you're here, friend. Hello, gentlemen.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep,
Yep.
we got you.
Who's
Okay.
that?
What
What's
about
your name?
Red Hat guy.
Kratom O'Neal.
That's Kratom O'Neal.
Kratom O'Neal?
Yep.
What do you think? Tell me for that one.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Right.
Wolf Knife Kratom O'Neal.
Right. I was going to say, man.
And Red Hat, but not that kind of Red Hat guy.
Red beanie guy.
What's up, Beanie Guy? What's your name?
It looks like his audio is still connecting.
Oh.
Yeah, beanie guy looks a little lost.
Looks very concerned.
We'll get there, beanie guy.
Don't give up, Beanie Guy.
Yeah. I
Okay.
believe
You got
in you.
this.
Yeah, I'm getting a Boyce vibe off of him.
Is he in Canada?
I don't know about that.
I'm in Canada. What's up?
I'm not trying to fight you or anything, but it's good to know you're a Canadian. Thank you. What's up? He looks like kind of like a Ryan Villapoto didn't ride bikes and packed boxes. Hello, Beanie Guy. Are you there? That's a child.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I think Beanie Man is impersonating a child.
Beanie Man. Beanie Man.
I think Beanie Man fell asleep with his eyes open.
Why is he just... Yeah, talk.
Beanie Man may have replaced himself with a
Talk, Beanie Man.
Beanie
Talk.
Man cardboard cutout.
It's my favorite show. Yeah. I'll talk
Is that
to
guy's
you.
name Classy Blumpkin? Fuck yeah.
Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Hey.
did he just say, oh, yeah?
He did.
What's your
He didn't
name?
realize he was the beanie guy.
You're the guy with the beanie on, right?
Yeah.
Look at everybody else. I got a hat on. That guy in Canada's got no hat. And then the Monster Energy guy's got Monster Energy, but no hat. And look who's got the beanie.
I'm in Duluth, Minnesota. It's like 20 below right now.
Oh, there you go.
That explains it.
Oh, my
And that
bad.
explains the hat. Welcome, Duluth.
Might be one of those
Duluth.
things where you're looking for your sunglasses and you just put them on your ears and flip them up on top of your head. And you're like, where the fuck are my sunglasses? He's been wearing the beanie so long he forgot he had the beanie on.
Yeah. My bad, Beanie Guy.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Just cold.
So, anyway, we're going to play a game here.
Yeah.
Also, I want to ask, first of all, do any of you surf, and would you even give a fuck about a wetsuit that used to be it's mine that Dingo used yesterday and he peed in, and would you want Kevin to poo in it?
Yeah, how are the waves in Duluth?
I don't
Well,
surf. I'll
in
just
the
wear that in
winter,
my
I
free
guess.
time.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Is that that was the best answer, Michael? Well done.
Not a surfer, but I'm a fan.
All right, because I got some messages from people, Michael, that said they wanted the wetsuit. But look,
Yeah.
it's got a hole in it. You really don't want to use it anyway. It's more of just a
potentially
spectacle.
potentially feces.
That just goes on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
I am going to read you a legitimate, real, not made up news headline, and I'm going to leave one critical word out, and I'm going to ask each of you to fill in the blank. We'll ask Beanie Man, then blue hair guy, then no flare on his head guy, in that order. And if any of you correctly fills in the blank, you'll be that much closer to winning the ripped up poo-filled wetsuit. Okay? Yeah. All right, Beanie Man, a mail carrier encountered an axe-wielding blank.
An axe-wielding police officer. Yeah.
It's a solid guess.
Axe-wielding police
incorrect.
officer.
No, not correct.
Nothing worse than an axe-wielding police officer, let me tell you. Axe-wielding guys, pretty scary. But when it's an officer of the law,
oh, man,
you are in some deep shit.
Yeah.
Because he's going to, what are you supposed to do, call the police?
Yeah, he is the law.
He is the law.
Who will police the police?
Yeah.
Defund this, letter boy.
You're chop suey now.
That is incorrect. Monster Energy Man.
I think mime.
An axe-wielding mime.
An axe-wielding homicidal mime.
He can't say much, but he's going to swing the shit out of that axe.
Terrific answer, but terrifically wrong.
Terrifying scenario.
The nature of life.
Yeah, man.
Kratom O'Neal. An axe-wielding what?
I'm going to go with toddler.
Oh, I like that answer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, every single one of you is wrong. A mail carrier, and I have the photo to prove it, in Kentucky encountered an axe-wielding dog.
No.
Jeez.
See, this game's impossible to win. Oh, shit. It's a dog with an axe.
Yeah, it sure is.
You better watch the fuck out.
Man, he's not lying, man.
It's a dangerous game of fetch.
Yeah. No, if I'm hanging out minding my own business and a real big German Shepherd comes walking by with a fucking axe in his hand, in his mouth, I'm a little bit edgy. I don't think he's going to throw it at me, but I'm still like, who is this dog of war?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this again. This time we will, in the same order, we will start with blue hair guy, then Kratom, then Beanie Man. A listener by the name of Tyson sent me this news story. While attempting a getaway, a suspected British car thief ended up covered in blank.
Easy.
Tapioca pudding.
That's insane. Why would you say that?
I admire
Because it is insane.
I admire your confidence.
Oh, not tapioca again.
Kratom O'Neal, while escaping the popo, a suspected British car thief ended up covered in what?
Queen Elizabeth's queefs.
Nice.
Oh no, not Queen Queefs again.
Beanie Man, your answer.
Control, please.
Bread pudding.
Jason, what is your guess?
Feces.
Yeah, of course it's feces.
Good God.
Hooray!
Cow feces, to be specific.
Duh.
Yep.
I'll get you.
Biff Tannen to that British guy?
Here's a picture of a guy being handcuffed.
Oh, dang, that's a
Covered in-
lot of feces.
Covered in cow shit. Yeah, I think he jumped off a shed and slipped and fell. He was trying to escape on foot and he fell in a pile of cow shit.
Yeah, that's not the dry stuff either that you can just rub off.
Nope.
And it'll crumble away. No,
Nope.
he's caked.
Not having a Biff.
That man is
Yeah, they Biff
laminated.
Tannen him.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's right. Yep.
Nice.
Well done.
Someone
well
should
done.
get a point for that. Who said that?
Monster.
Monster.
I said Biff. How dare you?
Sorry.
That
Okay.
was me first. It was way earlier.
All right, I think we may
All
need
right,
to
what?
adjust the
All right.
rules of the game.
No
If-
more points.
If
Sorry, I take
anybody gets anything
No,
right,
no
you
points.
you are the winner. Okay.
square.
We'll split it.
We'll start with you, Kratom O'Neal. By the 2030s, experts say the British military could be 25% blank.
Dead.
Only 25% dead.
Beanie Man, your guess.
Beanie Siegel.
Oh, my bad. I couldn't hear any of that.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'll ask you again. Experts say that by the decade of the 2030s, the British military could be 25% blank.
I think he's internet
Uh-oh.
is
Yeah,
frozen.
He chipped out on us.
Beanie Man, are you there? Beanie, Seagull, Desert Eagle.
He's such a still man. It's hard to tell.
He's frozen.
Yeah, okay.
This internet froze up in
No, I didn't hear the whole question. So.
Oh, wait, he's
Okay,
back.
Beanie Man is back. We'll try this one more time. Beanie Man. Experts say by the 2030s, the British military could be 25% blank.
Oh my god.
You can try bread pudding again.
Okay. Never mind.
All right.
Nice.
Monster
nice
Man.
answer right there. What did he say? I don't know.
Never mind.
Right.
I'm just gonna go with the easy answer.
Smaller?
Smaller.
No. Anybody here have a guess?
Robots?
Yes, of course. Yes, Katie has the correct answer. They will be 25% robot.
Congrats, Katie. You win a turd.
Let's see. How much easier can I make these? I guess we start with who am I up to starting with here? I think we're back to where we started.
Yeah, we've looped back
Yeah,
around.
Monster Guy. A drunk driver ran over blank.
Himself.
That's exactly right.
Oh,
Shit! Woo!
impressive move. And your child is very excited about winning a poop-filled suit.
Aw, man.
Kids love the ocean. They love feces.
Going in the will.
Oh, it's especially him.
Yep. A 39-year-old man in Rapid City. What Dakota is that? North Dakota? South Dakota? One of the Dakotas. Yep.
Love it there.
Oh, yeah.
The Rocky Mountains.
He might as well be Canadian.
Me?
No, the North Dakotan that got ran
Right.
over.
That's right. May as well be.
Yep. Mount Rushmore. Badlands National Park.
Is there any Rocky Mountains there? Was I wrong?
I don't think you're in. I think you're in the middle still.
Good.
No.
Just making sure. Sometimes I just like to flow. The Great Rocky Mountains, I flew over it once.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Say hi.
I don't really know that. Hey,
Hello, child.
Hello, small child. This is an adult show, so watch out, Dad. Come on.
Yeah, the show might age you 10 years.
Let's be sensible here.
I'm freaking trying it.
We're going to get some donuts. Maybe take a commercial break or something.
So that's a point for David Arquette, huh?
That's the winning point.
Yeah, no,
His
you
1
won.
hour game.
Yep.
Ooh, a 1-point game.
Yep.
Yeah, we're out.
It was a tough game.
So the winner is who?
Monster Man.
Monster Man, you won. DM me and we'll send you the wetsuit.
Right on, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks
Thank you. Later, mate.
Thank you all for playing our game.
Yep.
I love the show. Thanks.
Love you, boys.
Later, mate.
Look at that. Dreams come true.
There it is.
Armie Hammer has been forced to
back?
exit a J-Lo movie.
Oh, is it official now? Because I thought the lady, we didn't know if this was a real thing, Michael, or it might have been made up. Because, you know, some girls, they just make up bad stories about some of these famous people. And these famous people, turns out they didn't even do anything at all, Michael.
No, it turns out that they are absolute sweethearts just dealing with the nonstop allegations of insane, evil bitches.
Do you think Mike Tyson raped somebody?
Yes.
Yeah, he got convicted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he did it. And him being acquitted doesn't mean that he didn't do it. Yes. Yeah, I think that there's quite a few celebrities who, by the current definition of no means no, yeah.
I heard a pro skateboarder did it. Big one. Like one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Yikes.
This video or something.
Oh.
Look, do you think...
That's pretty awful.
How many times do you think backstage at a concert in the 80s, a hair metal thing or something, some girl went back there and should have known better, maybe shouldn't have been there, maybe thought it was a good idea in theory, but once it was actually going down, was like, you know what, I don't actually feel good about this, but it still happened anyway?
Yep. Yeah.
Come on. Yeah.
Ugh.
Man, I feel like there was only recently is there a time now where I believe women are more aware of what is happening to them at the time so that they can, because I think we've all been, men as a whole species has just sort of pushed themselves on women, and we get the way and they they stay at home, whatever. And that's not that long ago. So we're always, I feel like women have been abused and not even realize they were abused for the longest time. And only now, I feel like a lot of guys would know where the line is a little more from all this people getting called out, which also, in turn, I believe, would make some younger women more aware of like, hey, like if I fucking say I really don't want to, that fucking really means I don't want to, instead of, well, he does have a point. I did already come here and I did already have a couple of drinks. It's kind of like being a bitch if I don't cough it up. Like, you don't think some girls can think that, and then when they leave, they're like, okay, I really did not want to have sex with that guy, and that guy just fucking rammed his shit in me, and I hated it, and then I left. That's kind of, it's abuse.
Yep.
And I feel like less people will get it now because of
there's no doubt
all
about
the
it.
call-outs.
Yeah. No, and we're in this awkward transitional period. Of course, the situation will never be perfect. Nothing ever is. But where there's all these women who didn't talk about things at the time, and then when they do, it's such a ready-made excuse for defenders to say, oh, this happened at the time, and you're not bringing it up until now. That's convenient. And there's a guy, the general manager of the New York Mets, just lost his job, I think, today. General manager's the guy who, like, signs the players and makes the trades and stuff like that, where I read an article about it yesterday. There was a reporter from another country who met him in like an elevator, and they exchanged information, and she thought that he was going to be like a source for her, and he thought that he was going to fuck her. And it's shitty because she did respond to text messages. She did. When he said things that were overtly flirty, she still responded. And now she's saying, well, in my culture, it would be different. If somebody said that, it might be taken a different way. And basically when he started sending, I think there was maybe he sent a picture of a crotch that she responded to. And then
his crotch?
That hasn't been proven, I don't think.
Like a bulge, though?
Yeah. But then I think when he sent the dick pic, then she didn't respond. All I'm saying is what the guy did is wrong, and he's been fired. But it's not as if it's not this clear-cut thing where he sends a text and she's like, listen, I'm trying to have a professional relationship. And he's like, no way, here's my balls. Again, like, there's just enough there where I'm not saying she led him on. But if you were going to defend the guy, you could say, well, look, she did this and she did that. And why was she still answering? And why did she meet him for a drink this one time?
Were any of her replies flirtatious in any way?
I'm going to have to refresh my memory of that. But my general point is that we're in this awkward, ugly transition where things did happen back in the day that shouldn't have happened, and people didn't speak up about them. And now you go, well, why didn't you talk about it at the time? And things are still happening where people are the boundaries of what exactly is allowed to happen are still maybe a little bit unclear to some people, but this is a necessary thing that we go through. I know for a fact that by the time my daughter is 16 or 18 or whatever, there will be no ambiguity whatsoever about it. And we're all going to have to argue over, oh, this guy got fucking taken down because this one fucking bitch, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to be like that nearly as often in the future. And this is the way we get from where we were to where we're going. I'll see exactly what this chick did.
It's crazy they don't have robots to fuck people. Like proper robots to have sex with men.
They're working on it.
Yeah, but it's just like the solution to all of it. Just give people them.
Fuck bots.
Yeah. It just solves everything. Sure, you can marry somebody as well and have a relationship, but you have a fuck bot with you all the time. It's at your house. Every guy has one.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, but it comes in with Medicare because we'll all have health care, like in Australia. So everybody gets one when you turn 21 or something. You get one.
Seems like a high bar to hit.
Well, the future, you got to strive.
That's going to be some really good medical insurance.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? Why can't everyone have really good medical insurance?
Yeah, why can't we?
I mean, to the point where everybody just gets a free, lifelike, indistinguishable from a real human being fuckbot.
It's got to be a little indistinguishable. It's got to be, you can't have, because then you got them trying to be people. And you can't do that.
Yeah, they need to be pretty dumb.
Well, what I'm saying is if
pretty dumb.
I tell you, this girl, one of the hottest girls I ever dated was also one of the dumbest. And
it's got to be soulless. It's got to sort of be like, I have carb to, you know what I mean? Like, and then it gets into, fucking mode or whatever, and then you go ahead and do it. But I don't think it has like conversations with you afterwards about.
No.
If it's gonna stop like a true creep from being fresh, it's gonna really have to trick that creep. And I feel like it might be easier to just like, hey, you know when you should or shouldn't send a dick pic? How about like if she's like, hey, let me see a snap of that hog. That's go time. Then you send a dick and you don't get in trouble, and you don't need a fuck bot.
If someone says, "Send me a snap of that hog," and it's a girl,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to send it.
Well, I mean, whatever way she asks, like.
Yeah.
Snap off a Slim Jim.
Oh, let me see
May as well.
penis.
Yeah, I do know. I can tell by all the girls that I've met that dudes are super quick to show their dick to chicks on the internet.
So this guy, I found the details on this. The woman has not been identified. She's from another country, and she says in her country, and we have to take our word for this, I guess, it's one of these countries where if a guy ends up in a bad situation with a woman, the woman gets blamed for it. So she just doesn't want to. It's like the sort of country where if a girl gets raped, it's like the girl's fault for tempting the guy into raping her. So she's just like, look, I'll give you all the details. She shared the text messages with reporters, but like nobody's gonna find out who I am. So here we go. They met exchanged business cards in an elevator. Before the day was over, he asked her 3 times to get a drink. She said she agreed to meet him because she thought he was volunteering himself as a source. Thought they would talk about baseball. She's a baseball reporter, or at least is an aspiring one. He asked if she had a boyfriend. She said at the time she thought he was just being friendly. She couldn't believe anybody would be so forward. That night, after she said she couldn't meet with him but would the next day, he sent an unsolicited selfie and said, like? She did not respond. And she said, if I had a better understanding, not just of the language, but of the culture, I definitely would have realized sooner what was going on. It goes on like this. And there's just like enough shit where if you want to, there's some guy calling in to talk radio on AM, whatever, 780 in New York going, this is bullshit. She did this and she did that and she did that. And it's unfortunate that even in situations where it's clear that the guy crossed boundaries, there's enough ammunition there for people to argue the other side. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because what are you supposed to do if you're trying to have business with somebody and you're married or not interested, and they send you something inappropriate? It's like a trippy thing, but you still want to be in business with them. You don't want to ruin this contact that you have, and you're like, what if I just say nothing to that? Maybe they'll get the hint and we can move on and pretend that didn't happen. I can see that. It's just crazy to meet somebody and just go for the crutch, especially on ladies. I just don't know that that many ladies that are texting back and forth and you're like, what do you think of that? That's when the timing of that, when you haven't, I almost feel like people that do that really like that. It's like an ego thing where he just thinks everybody wants to see his dick.
Yeah, for sure.
And here's proof by the way I treat this lady. Because once again, that's one of those things where you could take that as very fucking insulting.
Yeah. I also think, and believe me, I'm not trying to defend any of this shit, but I could believe that there's a certain portion of these like digital flashers. Because like for a guy, if a girl sends you a picture of her tits or her ass or her vagina,
yeah,
it's like, oh, cool.
Yep.
Like you're pumped.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, how could I reciprocate? Like, obviously she didn't send you one first, but if you're like, it would be really awesome if she sent me a picture of her vagina. I'll try and do that awesome thing to her.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't know that that's not awesome is pretty fucking stupid. But like,
people do it all the time. You know, everybody knows girls that have said, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just DMs of penises.
It's a very stupid thing to not know at this point that it's not as cool flipped. Like, it's very cool. Like, you will be excited if you see a butt, but no one really wants to see your butt.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people that send weird DMs were, they got a period where they're drinking or something and they're, maybe about to go to bed and they're pretty buzzed and they're like, and they're like, yeah, I fucking send, she's fucking hot, and then you wake up and you're like, oh man, kind of like people say stuff to me that's so, you know what I mean? Like, where'd you get that? What about this? Where do you live? And I'm like, things where I'm like, I'm not answering any of these questions. And then they're like, the next day, oh man, my bad. Fucking wasted last night. I feel like that's one of those, because you have social media now, you can DM people, and when people have people's phone numbers, guys get weird. Like you get real drunk, and thumbs can still move, and you can. It's been a while for me to be there. I'm really lucky that I wasn't in the phone world when I would get really, really wasted. I would have done live broadcasts of me doing the saddest things ever.
Oh God, yeah. Let me tell you how this thing culminates, because it's interesting. As I say, this guy's lost his job, and I believe he ought to have. But he texts her and says, why aren't we hanging out? You're so pretty. Do you have a boyfriend yet? He sent a selfie and said, it could be me. She responded with an emoji, laughter, and she said, let's meet. And then the guy asked her for a photo, and she sent a selfie.
Oh.
And he responded, you're gorgeous. Want more of me? She said yes.
What?
She said, I thought it would be awkward to say no. I didn't think of where it would progress. Again, she's leaning very heavily on, in my culture, this is the signals that people would be sending would be different.
What culture is this again?
She's not saying. The people who wrote the story, who are reputable reporters, one of them is actually a guy who was a pretty high-level baseball player who's become a baseball reporter. His name's Jeff Passan.
Yeah.
Has verified this stuff, presumably has talked to his editors, and they've been like, yeah, cool, we're not going to reveal that, but we all agree. Okay, yeah, I get that. He sent 3 photos, including the first of several that show a man lying on a bed with a bulge in his pants. It's him. I mean, we don't know that, but it's him. And he said, like, she put the laugh emoji again and texted yes.
Oh,
she said she didn't realize the intention. She said she didn't realize the intention of the photo taken on the bed.
Can't say yes though.
You are not married? She asked. She said at that point she realized the sexual nature of the thing, which is when he sent her the naked photo, he sent her a grand total of 62 unanswered texts after that, including 7 photos, including the nude.
Not. Were any of them sorry? It seems like you're taking this the wrong way.
Are you mad at me? Then he sent a bunch of photos. One was of a World Series ring. He had one.
No.
The other 2 were bed pictures of a man's clothed groin, to which he added the message, am I annoying you?
Oh,
are you annoyed by my groin?
Groin annoying.
He sent.
Imagine groin punishing somebody. Just like constant photos of your groin area. Man, that is actually really painful.
Yeah.
Like
was this what annoyed you? Groin.
I feel like if Cather would send us all group photos of his groin, I'd rather see like people shitting in someone's mouth.
Yeah. So, okay, wait.
And also, if you think that might be the problem, maybe ease off that.
Well, let me finish. So he sent 7 more messages that day, including one that said, you're hard to get. The next day, he said, I want to see you. Then, do you want to see me? 3 hours after that, I'm sorry. Then after that, I thought we could have some fun. After his 4th consecutive day of texting her without a response, he said, I'm a nice guy, Was it the pictures that made you mad? And then he said, I think I just saw you. You're so beautiful.
Ugh.
That's when she said she felt panicky and started kind of hiding from the guy. Okay. Then he texted, I'll be in L.A. this weekend at the best hotel in America. Can you meet me? Then he said, you're missing out. Then he sent 17 more pictures, including one of his naked penis.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Right.
What a dumbass.
Okay, right. So.
It's the death spiral. Like,
yeah. So. But she was just, he sends a picture of her groin, and she's just like, yeah. Do you like it? She's like, yep, great groin.
As far as groins go, woo!
But
thumbs up emoji.
I still think that what this guy did crossed the line. And
for
I understand
sure.
why he lost his job.
No matter what happens, you can't get in that death spiral. You look like a fucking psychopath.
To be an asshole in this story, do you think that girl might have set him up?
So, I don't know what her angle would be. She didn't try to extort money, and she was trying to establish a career as a baseball reporter. She's not going to.
What if somebody hired her to get rid of him?
Okay. It's possible. It's possible.
Just because I just still, like, I know this culture thing she keeps throwing in there, but you know what yes means in English or so, and you said yeah to a dude's crotch photo. That's let's run through people's cultures where the crotch photo is acceptable, or she's from a place where when a man sends photo of crotch, you say yes. What one is that?
I'm gonna guess that she's from a Latin American country.
Okay.
Because she says, so she stopped responding to him. She said, being alone in a different country made it tougher. I didn't know who to trust and who to rely on. She said she then showed the dick pic to a player from her home country and an interpreter. And I'm just saying, in baseball, you're probably talking about a Spanish-speaking guy, right? Who helped her craft the response that she sent to the guy. She wrote, "This is extremely inappropriate, very offensive, and getting out of line. Could you please stop sending offensive photos or messages?" At which point the guy replied, "Oh, I'm sorry, I will stop. I really apologize. Let me know if you need anything work-wise." The next day he texted again, "I'm sorry," and just sent a photo of himself from some baseball stadium that he was at. And then she said it just kind of kept bothering her, and she was afraid about any possible repercussions that could come from it. And that's when she went to her bosses and said what had been going on.
I can see getting in a weird predicament where it seems like, she's into the groin. But, like, once you get the cold shoulder, just, oh, God, that's so fucking pathetic. Because I've seen, like, women post that stuff online, like screenshots of dudes just hounding them endlessly in the DMs, and it's like, fuck, man, even after, like, one non-response, just...
It seems like a really damaged human to keep responding to someone that isn't responding involving sex where they haven't
and I could
reciprocated any like interest, and you're just still boom with
like I could almost, if the pictures were out of it and he was like, oh fuck shit, I thought I had the go ahead, oh my God, to be like, I'm so sorry, and then like when it's frozen out, like, Jesus Christ, I really stepped in shit here. Man, I'm not that guy. I'm so sorry. Like, I thought you gave me the go-ahead.
I'm not that guy, but at one point there was a text that said, meet me in my hotel room. Right?
I don't know. I don't know if it was a private thing, because it did say, like, hey, do you want to meet? And she's like, sure. I don't know if that necessarily
He didn't say he was
like,
staying at the hotel?
Yeah, he said he's at the best hotel in America. Like, where it matters where in the chronology things are said, because in the beginning she thinks that she's going to have a relationship with him professionally. So him asking her to meet before he sent pictures of his groin is different than after.
Do you think he did that to a lot of girls? Like, there's no way that's his first one, right?
Maybe. It's definitely possible, and maybe it's worked before. Look, there was one time that being relentless worked out for me. It's not like my proudest moment, but the first time I came to Los Angeles, I came out here, Will was hoping to hire me for the job and to try to nudge it in that direction. He got serious to pay for me to come out here to train me to work. What the fuck was it that we had before? I'm going to say Pro Tools. What was the software? Profit, yeah. So he basically thought, if I fly you out here and train you in Profit, they're going to have to hire you because you've already been trained in Profit. And he put me up in a fun hotel up on Sunset. And I'm just like, I've never been alone in LA before. So I worked all day, and I went out and got really drunk that night, went to the Saddle Ranch, met this really cute girl, and she gave me her number on the way out. And she knew I was only in town for a night. And so she left, and I kept cruising around, and I was like, there's nothing else going on. I guess I'll call that girl. And I called her, and she didn't answer. And I kind of just like kept calling. And I don't know, like the 20th time that I called, she picked up. She's like, oh, hey, what's up? And I'm like, just, what are you doing now? She's like, oh, I went back to my friend's house, but she just went to bed. I'm done. And I'm like, well, I'm going back to my hotel. And she's like, okay. And it was fucking awesome. She came by the hotel, and I'm really glad I called her 20 times.
Yeah, that's a little different. You didn't text 20 times with a photo of your genitals saying,
no, this was probably pretexting.
Head to the hotel room.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
Why aren't you calling me back? Is it because of my groin?
What
about groin with no clothes on?
Are you afraid I don't have a groin? Because I can prove I did.
I feel like if you're drunk on the streets and you call somebody 20 times, that's appropriate.
Yeah, I don't know. I get
it's like a drunk move to call over and over again.
Also, I get a little cringy when I think of it, but she did come. It was awesome.
When was this? It was like, what, 17, 18 years ago? Because you've been in LA for a while now, right?
It was like 2004 maybe.
So texting wasn't necessarily huge. So I think that was when you would like I don't think you got as many notifications as like, oh fuck, I'm missing calls.
Yeah, if you call somebody a couple times, you're not under the. You assumed that they could have just missed the call.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. I went out with her. We stayed in touch, and I was dating her for a second. The night that I moved to LA, I had a date with her. So I mean, she wasn't too bummed out about it.
Ah, there you go.
So Army Hammer.
Oh yeah, getting back to scab eating fucking butt flesh. What's going on with him?
Yeah, toe enthusiast. Army Hammer. So he's supposed to be in a movie with J-Lo called Shotgun Wedding, and he is backing out of it. And he says, "I'm not responding to these expletive deleted claims, so it must be these fucking claims. But in light of the vicious and spurious online attacks against me, I cannot in good conscience now leave my children for 4 months to shoot a film in the Dominican Republic."
How many kids he got?
I don't know. You have 2 with that other lady?
see.
I seem to remember a family.
They got to
of
be
1.
worried. They could be eaten quite easily.
And if you're going to eat kids, toddlers are far and away the most delicious.
Right.
Like a toddler thigh is...
It's like, what are they, when you
like
eat
veal.
a baby cow, what's that called?
Yeah. It's the sweetest of all human meats.
We
There's
should
no
not
doubt
do
about
that, don't you think?
I don't eat veal.
Eat baby animals.
Oh, I do it.
Yeah. But if we stopped doing it, would you care?
A little bit. I'd live. Like, when they banned foie gras in L.A., I don't...
That's when they stuff those ducky guys, right? Yeah.
I don't... People have emailed me to say the ducks fucking love it. They're like, if it's so bad for them that they're like, oh, please cram more food in my throat.
It's not like they
around each
inject
other.
it in there; they get to eat it, right?
I think they put a thing in their throat that allows them to just stuff as much stuff in there as possible.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they put a funnel in their beak and just dump grain.
But the guy said that they line up for it. That's what a guy told me. I don't know. I'm going by a guy who claims to know more about it than I do. I don't pretend to know.
And Army Hammer has 2 kids.
Yeah. He says Lionsgate is supporting me in this, and I am grateful to them for that. So
they're supporting him in not doing business?
In not doing the movie right now because it would be...
Well, they're going to do it, though, later?
I imagine they're going to recast him.
I would imagine that they're recasting him, but
they can't put him on like a toe-eating sabbatical and just have
he can't
J-Lo
slow
sit
the
there.
whole thing down. She must have been sweating it for a little bit because she'd be a particularly delicious human being.
Oh yeah, she got a lot of butt to eat.
Yeah. So I don't know. He is at least claiming, and of course Lionsgate can say that they don't agree with him on this, but they haven't as of yet, that he's just like, yeah, this is nonsense and I'm going to be proven, I'm going to be vindicated in court. But until then, I got to just handle the situation and be with my family, and I can't go fly off to the other side of the world and make a movie. In the meantime, an ex-girlfriend said that, I think this is the same ex-girlfriend. I think she just said again that she thinks he is guilty of it. He enters his life in such a big way, she says. He's such a captivating person. He has such a presence, and he's aware of it, and he uses it in such a way that women think, oh my God, this is amazing. That's the scary part. How good he is at active manipulation and making you feel like he's never felt this way about anybody. While he's charming you, he's grooming you for these things that are darker and heavier and consuming. So, I don't know. This will all... These will all... the facts of this will presumably come out in the wash.
Do you think he'll be in trouble? Like prison?
No. What crime did he commit that would be prisonable? Asking somebody if he could eat their toes?
Unless it
She
turns out he's
she
like
also answered.
Okay.
if he's a cannibal, like he's like a secret Jeffrey Dahmer,
Just
then
not
he's
going to
gonna
be.
go to prison.
He's
That
just
would
not
be
going to be in
problematic.
big films. That's all.
Yeah, and boo fucking who? He was in a bunch of them, and now he just has to sit back on his like oil money or whatever he came from.
That is true. He is loaded.
All I know is that he was raised by a family that has oil money in the Cayman Islands. I don't know what his particular financial situation is. Is it illegal to sincerely ask someone if you can eat them?
No.
Right?
Cannibalism, I think it's just illegal if you follow through with it, because I
That's
think
right.
cannibalism is illegal.
But it's not. If you eat a piece of somebody and they're okay with it, And then they're like, yeah, we totally ate each other. You know, as long as everyone's okay with it, nobody gets in trouble, right?
I don't think that is true. I interviewed a guy who wrote a book about this town in New England where a bunch of libertarians went and lived, and they tried to take over. Libertarians are basically like they want as little government interference as possible. And they're like, we're sick of just arguing about how great it would be. Why don't we just go take over a little town and we'll live the libertarian, we won't pay taxes and the government won't do shit for us and it'll be so amazing that everyone will want to be like us. But a lot of the people who wanted to live there were at the kookier end of the libertarian scale. And one guy wrote up this big manifesto for the town that they were taking over, having not consulted with the town's residents. This is what they were planning on doing. And one of the things that he advocated for was legalizing consensual cannibalism. And that was off-putting to some of the locals.
Yeah. Why can't two people just eat each other,
I tend to agree.
Who's that hurting?
Russell Crowe fired off an angry Twitter response to somebody who said Master and Commander was boring.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Sick of that bad responses. I could get down with the Crow anytime because, yeah, fuck that, man. Master and Commander was sick. And
was it?
Fuck yes, it was.
Hell yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's fucking awesome. Love that movie. Yeah, and it's a good, everywhere, all the way around, super entertaining, good story, everything about it. That's a solid movie.
Great soundtrack.
That's what he said.
Did he?
Yeah. Some guy, Robert Ian McNabb on Twitter.
What an idiot.
Said, lots of folk complaining about lack of sleep during the pandemic. May I recommend Master and Commander, starring the usually captivating, attention-grabbing Russell Crowe. I've never made it past the 10-minute mark. You're welcome, and thanks, Russell. And he tagged Russell Crowe in that, which is how Russell saw that, to which Russell Crowe replied, that's the problem with kids these days. No focus. Peter Weir's film is brilliant, an exacting, detail-oriented epic tale of... I'm falling asleep just reading his reply. Epic tale of fidelity to empire and service regardless of the cost. Incredible cinematography by Russell Boyd and a majestic soundtrack. Definitely an adult's movie, to which the guy replied, I'm 60, but I get your point.
He's fucking lucky. That's 60 hours.
Yeah, you will, Bindi Irwin. Probably.
And that was the last great movie.
Bindi, have you ever criticized Russell's